Interesting. Okie dokie. Hello! Hello, my friend. Let's see. If anyone has questions, alright, let's see. I'm still kind of getting my thoughts. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Oh dear God, I'm not prepared. Things to do. Ask me questions. Ask for a style of flipping. You can see my butt, I guess. Ass or boobs. Oh God, ask for specific tricks. Oh man, I am... Alright. How is everyone? I'll just start by flipping a little bit. I still need to warm up. Hopefully you guys will be able to see the flipping. I could probably go to set up in my studio downstairs. It'll be a little bit better. Ooh. How do I do tutorials? How did I get my name? Okay, so my name is actually from... Yeah, fuck music. Never mind. So my name is actually from a video game. Flonne is a character in Disgaea. AssassinFlonne became a nickname pretty early on. It was originally kind of used to make fun of me. I started flipping when I was like 14 years old, so I was just like a little kid. And so everyone just called me AssassinFlonne to annoy me. And then it just kind of stuck. And then I stamped it on my blade. My AssassinFlonne knife. Fanning? Alright. I can just do fanning for a little while. Oh, that's transfers. I'll keep it fanning, I guess. I usually use my 47 when I'm fanning. Oh, you can also ask me to flip a specific knife. Ask for a specific knife as well. Am I going to blade? Currently, my plans to go to blade depends entirely on internship opportunities over summer, but chances are, yes, I will be at blade again. Where's my 47? I have no idea. Alright, I guess we'll go 42. I'm glad you're my favorite flipper. Thank you. I hope the new transfer video helps some people with transfers. I can maybe go into depth on some of them in this little stream. Do a Murnax ladder. Okay, that one's gonna be hard. Let's see if I can do it. It's been a while. Oof. I don't use these much in my flipping. I'm not very good at them. And I usually only do things that I can do cleanly. Okay, that was one. Oh. How many knives do I have? Let's see. How many knives do I have right now? Here's a lot of them. I've got my Bam Bali custom. I have no idea if any of this is on screen. Bam Bali. I've got my 42 Springer with my name on it. I've got a 42A, which means anodized handles. These are factory anodized. This is my modified bare bones. Very cool. I've got a double-edge Archangel. Try not to drop it on my computer. Double-edge Archangel. Double-edge Polytheus Balisong, which is probably the scariest Balisong I own. It's really sharp, and I have not actually hurt myself too badly with it. And then I also have just my standard Archangel. I've got a 47 somewhere. I've got a Prodigy trainer, which I never really use because I don't really use trainers. It's kind of a fun flipper though. and I have a Polytheus modified 51. 0G ladder. Alright, who's my favorite flipper? I would have to say that my favorite flipper is probably Greg. He's the kind of the person that I went to for inspiration when it came to transfers and fanning. Also, my showcase videos kind of take from his format of video. I cannot 0G ladder. Yeah, I would definitely say that Greg has been the biggest inspiration to me as a single flipper, so I would have to say he's probably my favorite. I don't think he's very active anymore. How much for the 51? I'm pretty sure I already tried to sell you the 51, but it is still for sale. Do I like the replicant? I do like the replicant. Actually, I think the bare bones is my favorite Blade Runner's knife. The problem I have with replicants is that they are too large for me. I have very small hands, so I actually like using the 42s, the 4X series, because they fall into this size that's really nice for my hands. And the replicants are a little bit too big and a little bit too heavy, and it just takes a little bit more, I don't know. I don't flow as well with them, I think. I have to think about flipping a little bit more. Sorry, I kind of have to stop flipping to read things. My eyesight is not very good. COG with Barebones. Blade Runners are Benchmade, definitely Benchmade. I love Blade Runners. I'm friends with all of the founders. I love them all, but as far as like style of knife goes, I prefer Benchmade. Of course, they don't make good knives anymore. If it's like 62 versus Blade Runners, then I would definitely go for the Blade Runners. 62 is complete shit. TAC 2 or 51? TAC 2. I actually loved my TAC 2. I thought it was one of the best knives released in a long time. It's too bad that it got discontinued. And I regret getting rid of mine. I did some cool laser shit on it. Craig style flipping. Hello, my friends. Tutorial on how to tie-dye. That would actually be kind of interesting. I always tie-dye during the summer, so it would have to wait for that. I know that the bare bones are heavier than the replicants, but I think the bare bones are more interesting in a knife. They've got a really interesting shape to them that makes flipping them really fun. Obviously, my bare bones is not like a normal bare bones. Mine is actually only 4.8 ounces. I think normal bare bones are like 5 point. I want to say 5.5. I have no idea, but yeah, this one is a lot lighter. It flips really weird. It doesn't fan very well, so I don't flip it a lot, but it does do a lot of other things really well. It's pretty fun. Have I tried a T3 custom and production? Yes, I have tried pretty much every kind of TAC 3 there is. I've tried the trainer one with titanium channel handles. I've tried the, I guess, custom or whatever ones with titanium handles. And I have flipped the one with aluminum handles. I actually have the unpopular opinion. I liked the one with aluminum handles the most. I thought it was really blade heavy, but I like that. I flipped the 47 a lot. I kind of like having a hand, or the other thing, blade bias to my knives. So I thought it flipped the best, but obviously the problem everyone had with it is that it was tang pin construction with aluminum tang cups, which is simply a design flaw. There's no way of looking at it. It's just bad. Alpha Beast or Replicant? Definitely Replicant. Did I tie my white B29 shirt? No, I have not dyed it yet. I will be dyeing that this summer. How did I mod my bare bones? I did not do it. I had my bare bones modded by Crazy Motherfucker. He rounded the handles and reground the blade. Here it is again. It's pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. If I had to flip one Balisong for the rest of my life, what would it be? That would be a toss-up between the 42A and probably the 47. I think, those are probably my two most flipped knives. I think that, I'll do some ricochets, yeah. I think I flipped the 47 the most because it fits with my style. It's obviously very blade heavy. It fans really well. It transfers really well. I should really find it so I can flip it. I think it's just on my floor somewhere. I have no idea. I misplace knives a lot. Here, I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can find it. Right, that was easy. Got it. 47. I think the 47 is my favorite knife, so I'd probably flip that one forever. T3's blade heavy. Yeah, I think the T3 is like, personally, I think it's really fucking ugly too. Stock 51 is way too light. It doesn't carry momentum well at all. Is Squid Trainer good? Yeah, Squid Trainer's fucking awesome. I've flipped a couple. Squid sent me one in a pass round. I really enjoyed it. I think I have a video of it on YouTube, maybe? Who knows? Favorite memory from Blade? Ooh. That's a really hard question. I've got a lot of just really good memories from Blade. I think, as far as like a general favorite memory goes, I think the favorite times at Blade are all of the times where you kind of get to meet someone for the first time. It always just turns into a party. Like the first time Nardath showed up to the house, it was just a total party. Everyone kind of meeting for the first time, but also having known each other for so long. Everyone's so excited to finally get to talk in person and kind of see who the person really is, that it's just wonderful. It's great meeting other flippers. And all of these flippers, I think it's great just how much we push each other at Blade, because everyone just kind of has really stupid ideas, like, hey, what if you did this? And then someone will be like, oh, hey, yeah, like, I could probably do that. And then they'll go grind it out and land some fucking insane trick that no one's ever thought of before, just kind of fucking around. I think that's a lot of fun. Tat close-ups. These are my tattoos. Hopefully that shows. It's a baby crow and a crow skull. Favorite video I've ever made? Well, first of all, I do not live in Canada. I live in the US. My favorite video, I think, is my video titled Who Needs Rollovers? That was a really big breaking point in my style of flipping, and maybe other people's styles. I don't really know. That was the first time I kind of used two hands to manipulate the blade instead of just doing pass transfers, kind of actually taking the handles and then moving it around with both hands in really weird ways. I also just think it's a beautiful combo. I don't even think I could still do that combo, but I still remember it. It's like, that into here. God, I don't know. It's a good combo though. A lot of good tricks in that video. Definitely life-changing for me. Have I ever let blood drip for a photo? Yes, probably. I think like 1,000,000 times. I don't actually cut myself very much anymore. Do I still Biglari? I do. I still Biglari. Biglari is kind of my go-to thing while walking around when I'm like outside of my apartment. When I'm inside my apartment, I will usually just flip. I obviously prefer Balisong flipping. It's kind of been a bigger deal in my life. I think it's more fun. I think it's kind of cooler. I'm also better at it, so I can keep myself amused with flipping a lot more easily than I can with Biglari. I can do some Biglari if you want, but I will stick to flipping for a little while because I'm sure that's what you all came to see. Oh, ow. Stab myself in the back. What's my favorite trick? Worst cut is definitely the one that left this scar on the back of my hand. That was at Blade. I wasn't even flipping. I was actually just playing Frisbee with a knife in my pocket, which was probably not a good idea. Favorite trick? That's also a really good question. I actually think it's really something simple. A lot of people see me do this trick. This is number 7. Number 7 in my fanning video. It combos really well with a lot of things. So like that's a combination of like, that's just, so this is fan out, fan back, and then into number 7. I don't know, I really like that one. It flows really well, and it's also, oh shit, sorry. I've got like my light here that I kind of keep standing with my back to it. Let's see if I can bring this over in some better way. Let's see. Maybe this will be slightly better. Will I ever try power aerials? Well, I would definitely say the most dangerous Balisong tricks are... Actually, I would say the most dangerous Balisong tricks are fixed lock. Like when you lock the handles closed and do fixed blade tricks, that has the highest possibility of actually severely injuring you. The reason being that when you're flipping generally, and you have it like this, if I put my finger to the edge, I can just push it, and it's not going to cut me. And so there's a lot of like give, for when I mess up, I can hit the edge, and it will give and not cut. If you lock the knife closed, and you say do an aerial, and you catch yourself, the blade won't give as much, and there's actually a lot more chance of getting a very, very severe cut. I live in Washington, but I go to school in Oregon. Craig is texting me asking you to do a style. You mean overjive? Maximum overjive? What's the most dangerous Balisong trick? I answered that one. Do a head bump. I can do a head bump. Maybe. That's kind of scary. I have never practiced head bumps. Just make sure there's nothing damage here. Woo! Almost got it. Alright, let's try this again. Ow. Oh, this kind of hurts. Can you actually see my head? I caught that one. Oh, this is actually kind of fun. Kind of hurts, but that's okay. Alright, my head hurts. Enough of that. How old am I? I am now 21. I actually just stabbed myself doing that in the pinky. Nose chaplain. When I looked emo, now I look hipster. I think I got older. I think that's the only real difference between emo and hipster. How long have I been flipping? I've been flipping for, I think, about 6 years now. So, a little while. Some time. Maximum overjive. Let's see. I don't usually jive a shitload. I kind of keep my transfers a little bit more. I kind of really got to get some music going if I really want to feel flow. Oh, the answer to will I do power aerials like Nardath? I can do a lot of power aerials. Maybe not. I just kind of don't prefer them as much. Wow, I really can't do power aerials. Never mind about that. I just don't enjoy them as much. I like flowing, and I'm not consistent enough with power aerials to really flow with them. Thank you. I do look gorgeous. I knew. Favorite trick from the Ace is the Wind, one of the kick-ups. Yeah, hack aerials are a lot of fun. I can do that. That's not going to be on frame, so I'm just going to... Did I start flipping trainers? No, I actually started with a knife. This was the first knife I ever got. This is the Benchmade 42 Springer. Well, I had CCCs before that, but I did practice with live knives. I actually bought my first trainer to do a review on it. I bought the B200 trainer. And if you've seen that video, you know my opinions on trainers. They're kind of not very good for learning in the long term. Do an ass catch. I don't even know how to. I think that's something that Slash could do. He could do toe catches, all that shit. What got me into flipping? Do a double scissor. I actually cannot double scissor, but I will try. I got into flipping. I actually started with Zippos. I started with Zippos and I watched tutorials on Cutlery Lover's channel, and he had tutorials on Balisongs, and I quickly realized that Balisongs were a lot cooler than Zippos, and then I just started learning Balisong tricks, and it's all history from there. Wow, I wish I could double scissor. Oh my god. That was kind of one-ish. Nope. There's one. Alright, I count it. Craig did the ass catch. Catch it in your pants, in your ass. Okay. Let's see. Interesting. Let's loosen up my pants for this, I guess. Loosen my belt. I don't think I can do this. I'm a little bit scared to cut my butt. But we're going to give this a couple tries. I don't know how close that was, but it felt kind of close. Is this even in frame? Let's hope so. Yeah, okay, I'll count that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna count that. Pretty fucking awkward. Join the Reddit group chat. I have a hard time kind of keeping up with group chats. I'm in a lot of group chats. I'm in like at least 3 Flipper group chats, maybe 4 or 5 Flipper group chats. I'm also in 3 different Bigleri group chats. Oh dear God, yeah, I have a lot of chats, so I'm sorry if I'm not always. Hello, wine. Do not join the group chat. Yeah, I hate you. I'm gonna flip the bamboo for a little while. I like this. This is actually one of my favorite Balisongs. I'm also really scared of it because it's sharp as balls. If balls were sharp. It's just really, really sharp. This one has given me actually one of my scars on my backhand at Blade. I have a lot of scars from Blade, a lot of permanent scars. But that's okay, it happens to everyone. Explain the Bam Bali. Okay, so the story behind the Bam Bali is this was first year of Blade Show. How many times have I been to Blade Show? 3 times or 2 times? Huh. Maybe just only 2? I think I've only been twice. Have I? I have no idea. But the story behind the Bam Bali was we were all standing around in the pit. The pit is where the knife makers and people who have the booths kind of show up and talk about knives, kind of show off their personal collections or knives they've been working on. And so all of the flippers were kind of together flipping in a circle. And some dude walked up with a couple really nice Balisongs and handed them to us. And the Bam Bali was one of them. He also had a couple other that he made. And we were all flipping them. Oh man, that was really close. We were all flipping them, and this one was my favorite. I just kind of offhand mentioned, oh, and so he made them. We were kind of talking to him for a while, and they were really high quality. We were like, wow, who the fuck made these? Like, where'd you get them? And he's like, oh, I did them. I made them. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really fucking cool. Like, can I buy this? And he was like, yeah, sure. And he named his price. And I had the cash in pocket, so I bought it right there. I don't think anyone else has ever bought a Balisong from him, to my knowledge. He was not actually really looking to sell. He'd only made like 3 Balisongs at that point, so he wanted to keep them for his portfolio. But I got this one, and it's fucking awesome. I love it. I broke the tip on it, which is a little bit sad, but other than that, it looks pretty much new still. Do I like karambit flipping? Not really. I think it's kind of limited. I don't think it's very interesting. Balisongs are really cool. I'm going to kind of stick to Balisong. Oh, okay. I almost dropped it on my foot. That's okay. How's physics going? Physics is really fucking hard. I actually should be studying for finals right now. I have finals next week. And instead of studying for finals, I am trying this out because I thought this sounded like more fun. And it is. It is a lot more fun. Maybe less useful, but that's okay. I have plenty of time. How much was it? I paid, I believe, $450 for the bamboo Balisong. At first, what did your parents think of flipping? My mom actually always supported it. My mom has always kind of had the mindset that like I can kind of do whatever the fuck I want as long as I don't like seriously hurt myself or like fuck up my future. And so like she was always kind of open to it. So the way it started was I bought a like cheap like CCC, maybe like $20 or $30, and I learned some tricks on it. And I came to her and showed her those tricks. She bought me that knife, and I kind of showed her and just proved that I was going to stick with it. And one day we were walking around the mall around my birthday or Christmas time, and I wanted to go into a knife store, and they had a 42 Springer sitting there in the store, brand new in box, and I convinced her to get it for me for my birthday, and I don't know, it's kind of all history. I stuck with it. I got really fucking good at flipping. Now I have a million knives, and she's always been supportive. Good shit. I got lucky with that. Yeah, I should really study, but that's okay. Okay, so I could probably pass my classes without studying. I paid $280 for my 42, for this 42 Springer. So I did not get it back when they were like $110, unfortunately, but that's okay. Not everyone got lucky. I actually started flipping after the 42 was discontinued. So, what can you do? What's the worst cut you've ever gotten? So the cut on the back of my hands, I got this at Blade Show playing Frisbee. Cut really fucking deeply. I just kind of glued it shut. It worked out. I didn't die. Do you carry your Balis outside of home or play it safe? I do not carry my Balis outside of home. I've had like some issues around campus carrying my trainer. I was flipping my trainer around campus during my first year of school, and I was actually approached multiple times by people who were like uncomfortable with me doing that, and so I don't really want to get in trouble with my school, so I don't carry Balisongs or anything like that anymore. Doubles. What would you say to someone who is suicidal? Oh God. It's a hard question. I don't know. I have dealt with many suicidal friends at school. I think, I don't know, there's never really anything really helpful to say except, like, if you kill yourself, it's over. And that kind of sucks. Like, there's always going to be good times and bad times, and I think if you let the bad times get to you, then there's not going to be any more good times. You got to take the good with the bad and not kill yourself. Yes. I don't know. Things get better. Things always get better. It may take time and it may take personal effort, but things get better. Tips to be more creative. So a good tip to be more creative, which is actually, so the way I invented a lot of the tricks that I invented come from a really loose style of flipping that pretty much, okay, so have you ever been flipping and you make a mistake while flipping and you think to yourself, damn, that was really fucking cool, I hope I can do that again? So pretty much the point is to try to make as many mistakes as you can while flipping and watch really closely what the fuck it's doing so that when you do something that looks cool on accident, you can try to replicate it. So the way that I've always kind of done this style of doing mistakes on purpose is kind of mix in weird hand movements that aren't proper, that aren't like good. So try to mix in bad habits into your flipping intentionally. And obviously, like, that's, you gotta be careful doing that because, like, you can hurt yourself if you're not smart and you fuck up really badly. But I don't know, that's kind of how I've always done it, is I make a mistake, and then I think, wow, that's really fucking cool, and I do it again. And then I do it until it looks good, and then I upload it. What happens after we die? We rot. Stuck on an island with 3 people. Interesting. I feel like I would just be like Nardath, Stu, and Trevor O'Leary. I think that would be a really fucking fun group to just live or die on an island. Just fuck around, figure out some way to make alcohol, bring a couple knives, and live out the rest of my days on an island. Favorite color? Maybe purple. I like purple a lot. What is the trick called where you roll the whole knife through your fingers? That's actually just a Murnax ladder. So that trick right there is, oh wow, that was ugly. That is actually just a Murnax ladder. It is the exact same motion. You're simply doing it with both handles. Oh man, I'm standing with my fucking back to the light again. You're just doing it with both handles instead of one. When you fail with Bali, do you try to save it or let it drop? You always try to let it drop. That's actually one of the first things that I think you should learn when flipping a Balisong is when to just let it drop. Because a lot of the worst cuts will come from trying to save it. And if you just recognize a mistake and let it drop, you will injure yourself a lot less often. So I don't really cut myself flipping anymore because I'm able to recognize really early on if I've made a mistake and drop it before anything goes wrong. Second favorite production Bali after the 4X is definitely the Archangel. This was one of my first knives as well. Personal favorite. It's really similar to the 42. It's a little bit floatier, it's longer, and it's a little bit more neutral balance. But oh, it's just a really nicely made knife. The Archangels were awesome. It's actually a really close call to say between this being my favorite and the 42. But I think 42 just barely gets it. It's got some better things. Like, I love the press fit pivots on the 4Xs are just prime. Really nice. But that shit cost $400. Yep. Shit always costs. I actually paid $200 for my Archangel. I got really lucky. My double-edged Archangel I paid more than $200 for. Knives are expensive. It kind of sucks. Titanium is expensive. So you kind of got to take that. Materials cost kind of fucks over a lot of people. Do I like Halo, the game? I do like Halo. Oh, it's the ass catch. Let me watch this real quick. Can I not just like click on the link? Okay, well, I'll copy it. Whoops. Oh, yep, that's an ass crack. Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. You a Nardath fan? I don't even know what a Nardath fan is. I'm sorry, my friend. While it's spinning, go into the finger roll thing, and then a Z Joker. I also don't know what a Z Joker is. I don't know the names to a lot of tricks, which is kind of why I've been making showcase videos. I've just kind of been making up names. If I had a chance to go to space, would I go? Absolutely. I'm actually in physics because I want to work on spacecraft and spacecraft propulsion in particular. So I would absolutely love to go to space. I think that would be fucking awesome. But I think it's a little bit expensive. Do I ever do backhand bumps? I don't actually really do bumps very often. I don't know, it's not something I usually find in my style. I can do them. Oh, that would have broken my phone. Let's flip my phone over. I don't know, I can do them. I just don't really think of it much. Can you do a butt bounce with a wrist, like a wrist bump, but with your ass? Interesting. How did I get my name? Did I disturb you with my memes? I got my name from a video game called Disgaea. Flonne is a character within that game. It is my favorite, one of my favorite video game series. I am not a huge fan of memes. I am not, I guess, I don't know. Memes are silly. I think they're too silly for me, and that just kind of detracts from my amusement of them. If you got the ass flow, you could do it. Alright. Let's see if I can do it. I'm scared of breaking my computer with a butt bounce. I also don't really know the motion. I'm just going to try it with it closed. Yeah, I'm definitely going to break my computer. Oh, ow. I stabbed myself. Oh, right in the webbing. Oh, that hurt. Ow, that's why I don't do power aerials. I got myself right there. Right in the weird... Ow. Opinion on the TI-51? I actually have a titanium 51. Ouch. That hurt. That's fine. This is my titanium 51. I do not like the titanium 51. It is too short for me. It is just kind of, like, I mean, it flips really well. I can flip it. I just, out of all of, oh wow, it wasn't even on frame. I have no idea where my webcam actually looks. Owie. Yes, my knives are in fact sharp. They are knives. Definitely knives. Let's see. They're not like razor sharp. No, not even that sharp, maybe. I don't know. My general thought process is if it's a knife and it can cut, sharp enough. I don't really keep my knives razor sharp because I don't really think there's any reason to. Like, I don't know, I'm mostly flipping with them. They don't need to be as sharp as humanly possible. That's just kind of asking for injury, in my opinion. If you just kind of keep them a reasonable sharpness, then it's a lot smarter. Oh boy, it's 5:11. My knives are very well used. That is true. What is the best Balisong to EDC? I would say a Benchmade like 31 or 32. Whichever one is the titanium channeled miniature Balisong with a pocket clip is like my dream EDC Valley. DE action. Let's get some DE. We'll do the Archangel because I'm kind of feeling it a little bit better. Now let's do a Ricochet right off the bat. This is the Double Edge Archangel. Awesome knife. Really like this knife. Archangels are fucking awesome, and I think it just translates so well into Double Edge. Ouch. Oh, got myself again. This is the most I've cut myself in a very long time. But that's okay. Everyone bleeds. I think I just cut myself again on that cut. Maybe I shouldn't be flipping Double Edge. Ouch. I am actually terrible. Spring latch or no latch? I always go no latch. That is a personal preference. I think latches get in the way for a lot of like the swing tricks I do, and it's a lot easier for me to not have a latch. How much did I spend to mod my BB? I don't really remember. I think it was something around like $150. Somewhere between 100 and 150. Oh, accidental blade grab, and also cut myself again. Beautiful. I am so good. This is why people, yeah. Double Edge is very fucking me up right now. Yeah, man, the transition from like a heavy CCC to a real knife is just great. I mean, you can kind of tell why. I mean, the nice knives, they've got quality, and you can tell. And I think that's really nice. I don't think you need a good knife to be a good flipper. The main problem is you need a lot of bad knives to be a good flipper, because you will break so many in the years that it's genuinely just a good investment to pay a bit more than to break $10, $40 knives. Just buy a $400 knife. Obviously, like, you should see if you're going to stick with flipping, but so many of the knives have such great resale value that as long as you keep it in good condition, you can get as much or sometimes even more than you bought it for after flipping it for years, which is really interesting. So yeah, I think it's always worth it to get a good one. I'm watching this while on the toilet. I would be filming this on the toilet if I could. Actually, I probably could, but I think I won't. Favorite trick? One of my favorite tricks is definitely the choker fan. It's just such an innovative trick, and such a recent trick too. Well, actually, I guess it's been out for a couple years now. But yeah, when it came out, it was just so different than what everything that had been done. It was just so fucking cool. Because it's just weird. It looks weird. It feels weird. It's hard to learn. It's just an awesome trick. Awesome fucking trick. Any tips on heat anodizing? I have never heat anodized, so is learning double edge hard? I don't think learning double edge is any harder than learning a single edge. You just kind of have to be really good at single edge already and know which tricks are gonna hurt a lot if you do it with a double edge. Like, you have to know how to cushion the knife really well, like during full twirls like this. If I'm not putting a lot of thought into how I move my arm and hand, the blade will come up and ricochet and cut me. So I've got to, the full twirl just takes so much more thought than with a single edge. You just have to be really good at single edge already to be able to do double edge. But you can just do less tricks with the double edge. So I wouldn't say learning it is, I don't know. Yeah, I think you just have to be really good at single edge, and then you can pretty much just do double edge. I don't think you have to learn double edge. What is your opinion on being a cuck? I have no opinion. I've not thought much about it. Take the scales off. What was the last time you cut your hair? That is a good question. I have no idea. It was definitely many months ago. Many months ago. Who are some of my favorite people that I've met through Instagram? What knife am I using right now? Yes, it is the Archangel double edge. I will keep using this one for a little while, but I'm kind of cutting myself a lot with it, so I might stop soon. What are some of my favorite people that I have met from Instagram? I would definitely say the first person that comes to mind is Knife Stuff, Curtis. I did not know him before coming to Instagram, and he's a really fucking good flipper, really innovative, and a really cool guy. He's fun to talk to. I've talked to him a lot since coming to Instagram. Definitely stolen some tricks from him, gotten some inspiration from him. Instagram flippers, I would definitely say Balisong is one of my favorite flippers on Instagram that I didn't know before coming to Instagram. He just has so much fucking style. He just does not, I think he's not into the whole technical side of flipping, which is kind of what a lot of people on Instagram are really into, is just being able to twirl really fucking well, really fucking fast, and being able to do really technical things without fail, which is cool. I don't really do that. I don't really do many technical tricks, and Balisong just has so much fucking flow. What are some up arrows? Where did I get the Archangel? I had been looking for an Archangel, a double edge Archangel, for a really long time. I found someone selling it on Reddit and asked to buy it. Can I follow you on Instagram? I'm slowly working on following more and more people. I don't really watch many videos on Instagram, just because I generally just post. I'm going to flip my 42. Actually, I'm going to flip my bare bones. I pretty much just post on Instagram. I don't spend a ton of time browsing, and if I do, I'm usually looking at not flipping things. I don't actually watch a lot of flipping anymore. I've kind of stopped trying to get better at flipping. I kind of just flip for fun. I do the tricks that I really enjoy doing that flow, and I kind of work on that, but I don't think I've actually really improved as a flipper in a really long time, and I think that's just because I don't really watch videos anymore. Which is too bad. Maybe I should progress, but I don't know. I don't really think people watch me because I'm the best flipper. I just kind of have my own style, and I do my own thing, and I'm going to keep doing that. Not to worry. Oh boy, favorite toppings on pizza. Chicken, jalapenos, basil, and onions. All together. Awesome pizza. Really good pizza. Do I hate nighttime burnout? I don't really hate any flippers. I don't really hate many people at all in life. I'm not a very hating person. Oh, is nighttime? I don't know who nighttime burnout is now. It rings a bell. He might have been in some, like, drama. I'm sorry, I'm not really looking for attack 3. I'm kind of culling my collection. I try to keep my collection to the bare minimum. which, I mean, I have a lot of knives, but I pretty much only have knives that I like a lot, and I don't think Tac 3 quite makes it into my roster of knives that I want. Ow, okay, that was a bad cut. Actually, that was almost a bad cut. I just, like, shaved a nice layer of skin off my finger. Man, I think distracted flipping is really hurting. Tips on doubles, I fucking suck at doubles. So my tips on doubles are to stop doing doubles and just do transfers instead, because transfers are awesome. Ow, that hurt. My hands hurt. Alright, my hands hurt, and I'm gonna go to dinner. So, about an hour stream. I don't know if people are interested in me doing this again. I could probably do this again. I don't know if my flipping was really interesting. I kind of just did the same shit for a while. I don't know. It's hard to get a lot of variety when I'm answering questions, but if you guys are interested in this again, I can do this just kind of randomly. I should probably study, so we'll see if I do this for a while. It's definitely not going to be a regular thing. I think this is a little bit better than daily drops. It's a lot easier to talk about a lot of things here. And I mean, I didn't prepare speeches for daily drops anyway, so this is kind of the same thing, and I kind of enjoyed doing this a little bit more. So we'll see. Hopefully I do this again. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you for all the support. This was fun. I'll do a Van Gogh to end it. Boom. Alright. See you, my friends.